Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Board Sunday. This is just an informative forum. I'll let you know what the board's been doing, and if you've got questions about anything, we are here to take your questions. And where does this... All right, so on today's talk, we're going to let you know who's on the board this year and also talk about what key deliverables the board has settled on after our board retreat in early August. Whoops, I'm doing it again. All right, meet your board officers. I'm president. This is my second year as president. Susan Moon is our vice president, and she's sitting here in the front row. Jeff Goltz is our treasurer. He's traveling today. And Rich Coleman is our secretary. And then our members at large all have liaison roles with other groups in the congregation. So Eric Ness is here, and you are liaison to the Legacy Giving Committee. Legacy giving is long-term, large gift giving to the congregation that is not stewardship. And then Lee Doyle is another member at large here, and she is our liaison to the Leadership Development Committee. Carmel Shields, she's a member at large, and her role this year, she intends to work with the Stewardship Committee again this year. Joe Joy, a member at large, and he is involved with the Building and Grounds liaison and also the resource. And he's in the Environmental Action Team, yes, but he's the liaison for the Reserve Study Implementation Task Force. Tammy Black, she's a member at large, and she will be our board liaison for our new fundraising committee, which I'll tell you about in the next slide. And then Reverend Mary Gear is a non-voting member and gives us reports, and we act on things that come up, and yep. Thank you. All right, so we are elected by the congregation, and we're responsible for the financial health of the congregation. You know, it doesn't say in there anywhere that we head any committees. We don't. This year we meet monthly on the third Tuesday. We used to meet on the third Thursday, and we changed this year because Tuesday worked out better. Thursday night dinners have gotten very popular, and Reverend Mary, for one, wanted to be available every Thursday to make that happen for the congregation. We publish the meeting agendas in the email blast. If you want to come, just request the link before the meeting. And you can find minutes of previous board meetings under the Board of Trustees tab on the website, and then you go on there and then you go down to board minutes. All right, so the next thing is a note from the treasurer. Announcement, OUUC has no debt for the first time in 30 years. The Key Bank loan was paid in full on June 23rd, 2023. And this was one of the prime goals of the capital campaign. The member loan was paid in full August 14, 2023. Our endowment balance has gone up, and so there's $550 more in contributions, so we're at about $500,000 now in the endowment. That fund is invested with the Unitarian Universalist Common Endowment Fund. It is managed by some very smart financial people with the UUA as environmentally responsible and financially responsible as we can possibly get it. And then the interest from that all that money earns, because it's invested, is available to the congregation to use for purposes that we need to do. So the results from the fourth quarter financial report, we ended the fiscal year needing to use less reserves than we budgeted. Yeah. For every revenue budget area, we received more than expected. And we invested all of our cash, much of our cash reserves in short-term CDs to generate revenue that we can use. All right, for our key deliverables this year, we're going to focus on revising the policy governance manual, deleting the excess, correcting fiscal deadlines, and we're going to review and approve the vision of governance. Policy governance is how we do things at OUUC. It's basically like our Constitution, and some of the amendments in there don't make sense for us anymore, so we're going to be looking at updating that. We're going to revise the endowment policy. The one that was written years ago no longer reflects current best practices in endowment management. And then we're going to determine the process to adopt a behavioral covenant. We're going to establish a board committee on fundraising. And we're going to prepare the congregation for Reverend Mary's 5-month sabbatical, mid-June through October 2024. Reverend Mary's been... A sabbatical is built into ministers' contracts. So for every year of service, she earns 1 month of sabbatical. And between years 5 and 7, she must take between 5 and 7 months rest. Yes. Rest and recoup and study and resurrection. Mid-June through October. It's 4.5 months, but it's close to 5. She's been with us. She'll be with us 5 years next March. And then the board agreed to host a Thursday community dinner. And because Carmel Shields is so great at parties, we kind of voluntold her that she was in charge of that. All right, so this new fundraising committee, its purpose is to provide consulting and procedural guidance for all congregational and charitable fundraising. Members of the committee will include one board liaison, who's going to be Tammy Black, and then 2 or 3 members nominated by the board president. Now, what I'm looking for in these members is someone who has some experience fundraising and someone who is interested in the how of fundraising, not the actual doing of fundraising, but they're willing to learn and help us come up with the whole package, kind of oversight. And the fundraising committee will meet monthly or whatever at a time agreeable to its members. Now, the charge to the fundraising committee will be to advise the board. They're going to collect and maintain a central repository of past and future fundraising records. And this is key. Members will not chair campaigns. Okay? The fundraising committee will be the first contact for all fundraising activity, ensuring that all have access to the most current policies and guidance to cooperate with OUUC staff. And then the last thing is to notify the board when the charge needs to change. Yes?
Question about that sentence, members will not share campaign. So hi, I'm Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Question about the sentence, members shall not chair campaigns. Can you go into a little bit more detail? Is that meaning that it'll be led by staff or?
No, I'm saying the fundraising committee is not going to be chairing the campaigns. They're going to be advising the chairs of campaigns.
Thank you. Just members was that term that it was like.
Right, members of the committee,
Okay, thank you.
members of the fundraising committee. Yes, Susan.
So does that mean that members can't chair campaigns, or just that they are not, we're wanting to tell people that the committee isn't necessarily going to be the chairman? I mean, could you volunteer if you wanted to do both, or are we trying to keep them, I know, but are we trying to keep them separate?
Well, the point was to get folks who want to be on the fundraising committee.
Well, I guess it's a guaranteed way not to chair.
As I understand it, the worry was if folks might be worried that if they wanted to be part of the fundraising committee, they would end up chairing the auction or the book sale, or so, and that's not the intention, is
Right.
how I understand it. Is that,
All right, and this is just a reminder of all the parts of OUUC's Giving Tree. And right now, stewardship is run by the Stewardship Committee. The nonprofit giving happens with Share the Plate, and the auction shares money between congregational needs and a charity of a cause. The capital campaign raises funds and holds funds available to maintain our buildings and grounds. And then legacy giving, that is where folks can give large gifts that will help either operating expenses. Many times large gifts are especially helpful to put in the reserve for our buildings and grounds, because everything costs $10,000. Whether you're gonna put gutters on the church, or whether you're gonna, coat the sidewalk or put new steps in. It seems like everything costs at least $10,000. I'm exaggerating or under exaggerating here. So that's all I have for today. If anyone's got any more questions, yes.
So I want a number. How much do we have in cash reserves?
Well, all the cash reserves are committed to different things. So let me see here. Selected fund accounts.
do you want me to do that, Arlene, and you can? Or
Well, I have them.
Okay.
I have them here. General operating reserves are $27,769. Building major maintenance fund reserved is at $16,767. Capital campaign fund has in it remaining $62,916. And this is as of June 30th. We have since signed a couple of checks for the capital campaign fund. Legacy gifts, $52,000, sabbatical reserve, $9,000. And there are $16,000 in program reserves. And general operating fund, which is unrestricted, is $36,000. So the operating funds are what we need to pay the bills. And all these other reserves, we can park them in a CD for a while, and as they mature, because we don't need all this money now, but we need $20,000 to pay for X in the future. So we're working on laddering the CDs, so one becomes one matures when we need it.
And Lynn, if you want more detail on the budget, I'd be happy to do that with you.
But I do have one other question. This came up at the general meeting when we approved the budget about the 500,000, I can't remember what that's called now, that the endowment. So there was talk about changing the threshold of when we'll spend the money from 500,000 to 400,000?
Yes.
Is that a decision that's in process?
It is. Yeah, we have to change the endowment policy because right now the policy is sitting at 400,000 and 500,000 before you can start using the interest. And then you can only use the interest for extraordinary out of operating budget, out of any sort of, like emergencies only. And we're looking at that as saying there's $500,000 in there earning interest for us. And we have needs. We have younger members coming in who want services, who are not supporting us with stewardship at the level that the older members do. And many of those older members have passed on. So we don't have the same kind of percentage of income from the newer members that are coming in as we had from some of the longtime members. So until they get up into their years, seeing that they're going to stay with us for as long, I mean, I came 30 years ago not intending to stay this long. So hopefully when they come in and that endowment will continue to grow as people include OUUC in their legacy planning, in their wills and trusts and things, that will stay healthy and the congregation will continue to thrive. Welcome. All right. Well, that was short and sweet. Thank you.
You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.